Okay, back with more card reviews. So I'm going to go through here Druid, Hunter, and Mage in this set here. All right, so going through the cards here. First one, Embiggen. So with Embiggen, you increase your minion cost by 1, and you give them +2/+2. The net result is you're spending 0 mana to give all minions in your deck +1/+1. This is the Prince Keleseth effect without any deck building restrictions. And like that's absolutely insane. If there is a card that I say is going to get nerfed in Standard, this is going to be that card. In Arena, like the big problem with Arena is that you really need to hit your curve early on. So if you have this card, you want to keep this in your opening hand, but you don't want to play this on turn 1, because if you skip your turn, it doesn't matter if you have a card that is more powerful than that. If you have a powerful card that you can play if you have no mana for it. So this is a card I think you really don't want to play until, you want to keep in your hand, but you don't want to play it until turn 3 or turn 4. So ultimately I say 4-star card. I could easily see this being 6 stars. Like I very easily see it. I'm being conservative and saying 4-star just because, like, okay, 1, if you draw it late, it's dead. It doesn't do anything. 2, if you don't draw it, if you draw it early, you have to play it, like, you have to hold it before you can play it and get your effect. And 3, it doesn't actually do anything that turn. But in subsequent turns, it becomes great. Secure the deck. Attack twice with your hero power, add a claw to your hand, add 3 claws to your hand. This is, I would say, a 3-star card. Like, you take a look at it, you're going to use your hero power. Paying 1 mana to get 3 claws is good. Claw by itself isn't fine, but that's because it's like the value of the card itself. 3 claws is a lot better than 1 claw, so getting them after a couple turns, 3 stars. Strength in numbers. Spend 10 mana on minions, get a minion from your deck. So again, you're not actually doing anything here that you wouldn't normally be doing. So 3-star card. So there is RNG involved. If you get a Battlecry minion, it's obviously bad. But if you pay 1 mana, also if you play this on turn 1, you're not going to be able to get this effect until turn 5, so you're kind of down a card for that. But paying 1 mana to get a random minion from your deck a couple turns later, I think that's a 3-star effect. Tree Forcement. Give a random minion +2 health and taunt, or summon a 2/2 Treant. 2/2 Treant by itself is a 3-star effect. Adding on +2 in health and taunt is really good. So this is ultimately going to be a 4-star card. Like, this is like this is a 4-star card, and yeah, you obviously want to take this. This is good in the early game. This is good in the mid game, in the late, and even in the late game. It's a really good card all around. Breath of Dreams. As I mentioned, I don't think you're going to have dragons. This is not really all that good unless you play it on turn 2. Like, this is the old Wild Growth problem. Wild Growth, if you played it on turn 2, was really good. Wild Growth on turns 4, 5, 6, not so much, and you would want to wait until turn 10 so you can get your card draw. So you need this on turn 2, and you need a dragon to get this card to go off. So I don't know at 10 mana if you get 2 cards with this, but ultimately I think that this is, like, I don't think dragon decks are going to be reliable enough, so I would say this is like a 1-star, high 1-star, low 2-star card. Shrubadier. Battlecry, summon a 2/2 Treant. This is like kind of like a 3/3 for 2, a little bit worse than that. I would say it's probably 3-star card, yeah. I would say like a 2/3 or 3/2 would be 2 stars. It's not really all that much. It's 3 stars. Aeroponics. Draw 2 cards, cost 2 less for each treant you control. You are really not going to control treants. Like, you get this, and you get this, but you need to have a treant for this to be an Arcane Intellect. Now, later on, there are going to be sets where this is going to be insane. If you have this and you have Living Mana, or you have this and you have the Forest Aid, this becomes 0 mana, draw 2 cards if you have that combo. Force of Nature, even if you get Force of Nature and you somehow get these 2 cards here, that's 0 mana, draw 2 cards, and that can be insane. But there really aren't enough treants in Druid to justify it, so I would say probably 1-star card. Let me just double check my rating here. Yeah, 1-star. Emerald Explorer, like, this is high 5, possibly 6-star card. Like, the taunt, 4/8 taunt would be a good card. Discover Dragon is obviously insane. This is kind of like a card that Druid really needs for the set. Garuda Might Tree. For the rest of the game, your treants have +1/+1. So as I mentioned, you're not going to get treants, so this is kind of like an Ancient of War, which Ancient of War that can't uproot. And yes, the uproot would matter more than the buff to the treants. So this overall 3-star, high 3-star, low 4-star card, because Ancient of War, this stat line is really good for a taunt. Ysera Unleash, shuffle 7 Dream Portals into your deck. When drawn, summon a random dragon. So the problem is you got the 7 Dream Portals, right? So this is a 9-mana card that does nothing. And then you've got to draw one of these Dream Portals. And then that Dream Portal has to actually be a good card. Like, it has to be a good dragon to really justify it, and you need to draw multiples of them. I don't think that's going to happen. I would say this is a 1-star legendary. Okay. Go on here. Hunter. Hunter, cleared away. Summon 3 Rush minions. Get a 4/4 Griffin with Rush. Because Arena is in the wild mode, and Rush did not exist before Witchwood, you are not going to get 3 Rush minions. You are not going to get a 4/4 with Rush. This is a 0-star card. Do not pick this card. It will not work. Dwarven Sharpshooter. This is high 5. This is a high 5-star card. Your hero power. You just pretty much win the early game with this. In the mid game, the effect is really powerful to make your hero power deal 2 damage to anything. This is just like super premium card. Might be the best card Hunter has. Toxic Reinforcements. Your hero power 3 times. And summon 3 1/1 Leper Gnomes. I would say this is actually a 2-star card. So Hunter has the problem of they're the one class that can still go aggro. Like, all the other classes can't really go aggro, but Hunters can go aggro. So with summoning 3, and also Hunter, you want to use your hero powers. So, like, as much as the other classes, you want to use your hero powers to whittle an opponent down. And if you're playing that kind of Hunter, getting a free 6 damage, possibly more if the 1/1s can go face, is absolutely insane. So 2-star card, this might be better for certain decks, but I would say, like, all Hunter decks, like, I know it's slow, guys. I know it's slow, but I think it is actually good. Corrosive Breath. Cobra Shot for 2 power crept Cobra Shot if it works. So problem is, you're a Hunter. You don't necessarily want to be holding dragons. Like, you're going to get a really, really great dragon, but like 2 damage deal 3 to a minion, that's a good card. Hit it if it excuse me. Hitting the enemy hero, that's like, it's useful, but it's not like you get all that much out of it. Like, you'll take the effect, definitely. So I think ultimately this is only a 2-star card. Like, 2 damage deal 3 to a minion is probably about a 2-star, and I'm not giving really all that much to the dragon tag. Phase Stalker. After you use your hero power, cast a secret from your deck. So we have a 2-star effect that draws a card and plays it for 2 mana. And you know what? You're going to get secrets. You're going to pick things like Venom Strike. Like, things like Snake Trap are good. Freezing Trap. Getting a free Freezing Trap is good. Getting a free Explosive Trap is good. This card justifies picking secrets. I think that this is a 4-star card. Like it's not necessarily it's kind of like some other Arcanologists. You have this, and then you can get a card, and your opponent has to kill this, or else it will draw cards. And then you can do it repeatedly, because it doesn't just mean that first turn you do it. You can do it over and over and draw all the secrets out of your deck, so you're not drawing them. So yeah, 4-star card. This justifies secrets. Diving Griffin Rush. Battlecry, draw a Rush minion from your deck. Again, as I mentioned before, you're probably not going to get Rush minions. So Diving Griffin is certainly a good card if it goes off, and in other sets, it is going to go off, and this will be a much better card. But in this set, I would say it's only like a high 2-star card. Primordial Explorer. This is... So, let me get the right thing up here. Like, this is a really, really, really good card. Is it as good as, like... I don't think it's better than Dwarven Sharpshooter, to be honest. Like, a 2/3 Poisonous, that's obviously really good. It's going to kill something. Battlecry, discover a dragon, obviously really good. Like if you compare this to the Messenger Raven in Mage or Bronze Herald in Paladin, you know how powerful those effects are, and this is on a much better minion. So, like 5-star card. Yeah, 5-star card. 5-star card for this. Yeah, you always want to take it. Stormhammer. Controlling a dragon is not going to be reliable. I would say it's honestly more reliable to have an equal horn bow and have secret trigger than it is to control a dragon. So, really good card. It's still a 5-star card because it's a 3/2 weapon for 3, and that's really, really powerful. But yeah, that's all there is to it. Dragonbane, 6-star card. So I think I lowered this a little bit to 5, but yeah, it's definitely a 6-star card. Because here, deal 5 damage to a random enemy. So it can beat the opponent's face. But if you have a hero power and your opponent has minions on the board, you're dealing 5 damage possibly to a minion. And like that'll remove it. This is kind of like Bomb Lobber before was 5 mana, 3/3, deal 4 damage to a random minion. This is 6 mana, 3/5, deal 5 damage to a random enemy, which can be a minion, and deal 2 damage face. So on one hand, you're going to get, like the worst case scenario is you're dealing 7 damage to your opponent's face. Yeah, this is absolute, this is for a card that pays no tax really for its body. Absolutely great card, and TGT is sad because like we can't include Inspire for this. Varanus, change the health of all enemy minions to 1. So this is an AoE effect on a good statted dragon for turn 6. Like, yeah, this is obviously really, really good, except that it's a lot harder to deal 1 damage than you would think it is. Like in other sets, it would be a lot easier. Like here, you have Spring Paw, obviously. If you had things like Desert Spear, though, Desert Spear would make that a lot better. Hounds is obviously going to do really well with this card. Hunting Mastiff would do really well with this card, but I don't think that this is like necessarily good enough because you need something to combo with it for the effect to really matter. So I think 5-star card, like I would say it's a 5-star card here. Okay, Mage, went to this. Arcane Breath. So 1 mana, deal 2 damage to a minion is okay. If you're holding a dragon, discover a spell, great, but you have to be holding a dragon first to get this effect to go off. So, like, as I said, I don't think that it's going to be necessarily reliable enough to hold dragons. So I would say this is probably, hold on, let me just pull up my review, just double check, make sure I'm not missing anything on it. Like, my gut says this is kind of like a 3-star card, like a high 2, low 3-star card. And okay, yeah, I have it as 3 stars. Like the effect, if it goes off, is insane. You're not really paying all that much for it, but it's not really, I'm not going to say it's really powerful. Like, I'm not going to say you build a deck around this effect. Elemental Allies. Play an element 2 turns in a row. Draw 3 spells from your deck. You're not going to get enough elements, and then you're not going to have, like, this just isn't going to happen. 0-star card. Like, maybe if Ungoro comes back, but not here. Learn Draconic. Spend 8 mana on spells. Summon a 6/6 dragon. So, unlike other cards, you can't reliably spend 8 mana. Like, you can't reliably spend 8 mana on spells. So that, like, and that's really what holds it back. Like, you build a deck around it and construct it. This is obviously really, really good. So, did I accidentally shrink this? It looks like I did. Okay. Anyways, so it's obviously really good, but in Arena, like, it's going to take forever for this thing to go off. So I would say only a 2-star card. Like, if you have a lot of big spells, yeah, definitely take it. But we're seeing decks in Arena right now where you're not getting any spells. So getting 8 mana that you have to spend after this at like some point 10 turns down the road, yeah, 2-star card at best. Spell Wing. Death Rattle. Add an arcane missile spell to your hand. So we've seen 1/1s Death Rattle add stuff to your hand. Arcane Missiles is fine. So this is going to be a good card. I would say probably a 2. I would say probably a high 2-star card, high 2, low 3. It's useful, but it's not like gonna like really change things. Chanvala. After you cast 3 spells in the turn, summon a 5/5 elemental. This can happen. We've seen this happen. Like if we've played with what's its name? Vexcrow, Dune Sculptor. These cards have gone off before, so it's not impossible for this to go off. But I don't think it's going to go off reliably. Now, that said, it's a 3 mana 2/5. So you're not really losing anything to gain this effect. So ultimately, I would say probably 2-star. Yeah, I would say high 2-star card. Like, there's a lot of cards that are a lot more consistent, but this can sometimes win games if you have the right deck. Azure Explorer. 2 mana, 2/3, spell damage +2, Battlecry, Discover Dragon. Alright, so the body is bad. And like compared to the other 3 mana Discover Dragon cards, the body is bad for this one. So spell damage +2, useful, but we've had 4 mana spell damage +2 cards before, and they were never really like all that broken. Like, I don't think you're going to get enough to justify this card. So Discover Dragon, obviously really good. So we take a look at this guy. This guy's probably going to be this guy's going to be like a 3-star card, because you pay too much of a premium for the Discover, but like obviously Discover is really powerful for that. Malygos, Aspect of Imagine. If you're holding a dragon, discover an upgraded mage spell. Okay, so 5 mana 2/8. That's really bad. So you have to hold another dragon, which is honestly, I don't think it's going to be all that likely. Like, so as I mentioned here, a 5 mana 2/8 is really bad. That'd probably be like about a 40 or a 35 or something like that. So if you get this off, it's absolutely insane. But like if you've seen the upgraded mage spells, you can look those up before. But those are absolutely insane. But ultimately, I think with Malygos that this isn't going to be reliable enough. If you have the right deck, yes, certainly. But this is not really something you can necessarily build around. I think ultimately 2-star card for this. Rolling Fireball, 5-star card. Deal 8 damage to any minion. Any excess damage continues to left or right. Power Corrupt Flame Lance. So you can obviously just remove a big minion. This could be done as a small board clear. So yeah, really, really, really powerful card. Yeah, just take this whenever you see it. Dragon Caster. If you're holding a dragon, your next spell this turn costs 0. So 6 mana 4/4. So to really have an average effect, you need to play a 3 mana spell with this card, which means you need to have this card, you need to have a 3 mana spell, and you need to have a dragon all in your hand at the same time. And honestly, I just don't see that happening. I don't see that being reliable enough. I think when it goes off, like if it goes off on Pyroblast or Flame Strike or Blizzard or Arcane Intellect or cards like that, then yeah, this is absolutely insane. But I don't know if that's reliable enough. Like, I would say this is a 1-star card. I just don't see it being reliable enough to justify. If you got Dragon decks, take it, but otherwise, no. Finally, Mana Giant. 8 mana, 8/8, summons 1 less for, costs 1 less for each card you play that didn't start in your hand. So things like Babbling Book spells, or the Arcane Missiles off the, not Shimmerfly, what's the card here? The Spellwing. Those are cards that would obviously go well with this. So you can get it off as an 8 mana 6/6. I don't think it's necessarily reliable, but if you have the right deck for it, it's possible. I think it's better in other sets. But, okay, so ultimately I would say high 2-star card. Because, like, 8/8, an 8 mana 8/8 is fine. That's average. You're probably going to have a few games where you get to play some of these cards and you get it cheap. That's fine. But, yeah, so, yeah, pretty much just high 2-star card. I don't think there's enough synergy to say it's, like, great unless you have a very specific deck for it. But even if you don't hit the effect, it's fine. Alright, that's been my card review for Druid, Hunter, and Mage. If you want to know my thoughts on each class and how they're going to play in the meta, please take a look at my written review down below. And next video, I'll go over Paladin, Priest, and Rogue in my review of their cards.